When you ask any person not living in Europe about where the greatest need for church, where the greatest need for the witness of Christ is, Europe is not typically at the top of the list.
When the recruiter called from CISP and he said, "Would you consider coming here?" I was like, "Europe? They don't need missionaries there." But when I started looking into it, I realized the great need.
Prague and the Czech Republic come from a deep background of spiritual heritage that's just so rich.
This country has extremely rich Christian heritage, coming back to the beginning of the 9th century.
And yet, there's a lack of any kind of Christianity in culture and society today.
We are in a nation which is probably the most secular in Europe, maybe in the world.
Even though there's a church on every corner in Europe, there's not necessarily a believer sitting in one of them.
In the Czech Republic, church is quite weak, and most of the people would count themselves either as atheists or nothing.
When they stumble over the word Christ, they back up pretty quickly.
The church here is looked only as something spiritual what we don't need.
When you walk down the street, no one just says hi to each other like we do in the South, but you kind of just keep your head down, you don't look at anyone else.
You feel it everywhere. You see the faces without expression, avoiding meeting you eye to eye.
They have slipped. They've lost the way. And we need people here to show them the light.
One missionary likens it to plowing concrete. It's tough.
You know, it's even sometimes hard to even explain to our families and students. Sometimes they think, oh, you're an American Christian school. Yes and no.
We started with 10 American missionary kids. We now have 80 kids from 21 different countries. And right from the start we said the families do not need to be Christians. They can be Islamic or Hindu or atheist, and that was okay.
It's cool because you get all these different cultures put together, and so everybody has different insights on things that I would only have one insight from. So it's cool to get different opinions from people just because of how they were brought up.
Probably 30 to 40% of our kids are not from Christian homes.
Kids of foreign diplomats or businessmen and women that are here that want an education in English. So they're willing to allow their kids to be educated from a biblical worldview and hear the Bible every day, even though they don't believe in it, just because they want the English and it's affordable.
So that makes a huge difference in outreach opportunities.
And that's something that this community emphasizes really well, is just how you can make a difference in people's lives. Even now, it doesn't have to be a worldwide, global difference. You can just start with people that you're surrounded with.
I love that the teachers teach things from the way they believe them.
The teachers here are really missionaries who teach.
They all raise their own support, you know, and that creates a huge difference, meaning they will work with passion and they will communicate with you with love and respect.
The very fact that teachers are here raising their own support is a big deal. It's a very subtle thing, but the fact that there were different options in the city that they could have come to and they chose to come here, to me indicates a value that they place on the students, on the children, on the long-term effect of the school.
Raising support is difficult, but because it's been a challenge for me, it's also convinced me that God wants me here because of how He's provided for me to be here.
It's not just getting some money to do an adventure. It's getting prayer support because it's a hard job, and it's getting financial support so that they can afford to live here. And that enables us to keep our tuition lower so that we can be attractive to the non-Christians who can't afford the expensive schools.
I feel like I can't be thankful enough for my teachers and the staff here. You can tell that there's a lot of effort and a lot of time that goes into CISP.
CISP is trying its very best to push back the darkness in that it is teaching not only facts and figures from textbooks, but we teach the truth.
It's not about taking the kids out of the world, but it's teaching them how to live in the world.
And that's my passion, is seeing kids come to know the Lord. And the other piece of my passion is that kids who already are followers of Jesus to really catch on to what that means to live an authentic life that follows Jesus.
Though it's hard work, it confirms that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. God is at work at CISP.